get to class, be in time for Bruce Peary.
Montgomery County Public Schools is studying the feasibility of changing school start and end times, also known as BellTimes, based on a recommendation from Superintendent Joshua Starr. Dr. Starr is recommending that MCPS move high school bell times 50 minutes later to start at 8:15 a.m. and to end at 3 p.m. Move middle school bell times 10 minutes earlier to start at 7:45 a.m. and to end at 2:30 p.m. And keep elementary start times the same, but to extend the elementary school day by 30 minutes. Dr. Starr's recommendation is based on the report of the 2013 BellTimes Work Group. Dr. Starr charged the group to examine high school bell times and the impact they have on student sleep habits, well-being, and success. The work group spent several months reviewing the latest research, talking to experts, and studying how other districts in the region and across the country are addressing this issue.
We had a pretty clear plan for the work group to study the research, to study the past efforts, to look at what the opportunities were for us. Some of the benefits we hope to see would be that students at the high school level just feel happier and healthier. And that's been reported in other places where they've made these changes.
As a society, I think in general we don't value sleep and we don't place it up as a health priority with things like nutrition and exercise and all the other important behaviors that we engage in to improve our health. In terms of academic performance, students who are experiencing sleep loss are inattentive, they lack focus, they have problems with time management, organization, creative thinking, which of course in turn is going to impact academic achievement. In terms of health risks, sleep loss is related to an increased risk of being overweight or obese. It affects immune function. In terms of safety risks, drowsy driving is a huge issue for high school students. As teenagers enter puberty, there is a normal, natural shift in their internal body clock, which we call circadian rhythms, so that the average teenager has great difficulty falling asleep before 11 p.m. Now, we also know that the average teenager needs between 8.5 and 9.5 hours of sleep per night. The basic problem here is that early high school start times set teenagers up for chronic insufficient sleep and all of its consequences.
This concern was reflected in the results of the surveys the work group conducted.
As part of the work group, we thought it was essential to get feedback from high school parents and students initially so that we can see what the energy was around starting schools later. More than 4,000 high school parents and students participated in the survey. Findings from the parent survey revealed that 70% of MCPS high school parents believe that high school starts too early. In another question, 69% of high school parents want high school to start later. And with the student survey, we also found that they felt similar to what parents felt. 63% of MCPS high school students believe that high school starts too early. And in another question, 54% believe that they want high school to start later.
As part of its report, the work group developed several options for the superintendent to consider. Dr. Starr released the BellTimes Work Group report along with his recommendation in early October and presented it to the Board of Education. The board supported exploring the feasibility of Dr. Starr's recommendation.
While it's not clear that there's a straight line between later start times and improvement on standardized test scores, we do know that it promotes and supports a student's overall health and well-being. That's really important to us. This recommendation also has the benefit of extending the instructional day at the elementary school by 30 minutes. We have the second shortest day in the state of Maryland. We can use that time for a myriad of things, whether it is more time in enrichment activities, whether it's planning time for teachers. More time in school means more opportunities for success. We're going to work with our communities and with our teachers and our leaders to make sure that we have great plans to use that time if we're able to do it.
The next steps in the process are to study the cost and the operational impact of Dr. Starr's recommendation, and to hear from students, staff, and parents, and community members.
Once we complete our very important community engagement process and we understand the implications for our students, our families, our staff, then we will analyze the information we get, we will make a decision, and at the earliest we'll go forward in 2015-16.
The main task now is to learn how this proposed change impacts the entire community. An in-depth look at the benefits and challenges of changing start times will help us do what's in the best interest of all students. Join the conversation and let your voice be heard.